Hey, it's March 9th. This is Neil, and I'm going to be demonstrating the new Jobs API stuff. And currently, this is only available when you create a new video, but I will be modifying things later so you can run jobs on existing videos, so V objects. And when you go to the API, this has just been deployed for the VHTML test. You'll now see in a text entry here where you can fill in a job name. Otherwise, everything else is the same. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create this, and we're going to log in first. That login expiration is a little harsh. If you haven't logged in for 24 or kept using the login token for 24 hours, then you get logged out. Let's try this again. I'm going to upload this commercial. We're going to use this job, clear this out so you can see what it looks like. Here we go. So when you first post, you're going to see this, and let me walk through some of the things in here. So create time, transition time, and then there'll be a start time. So these are all filled in. Really, the one date you want to look at for like the latest, what it's been updated at, is last transition time. Everything else is kind of subject to based on whether or not it completes. The other thing is status. So status will tell you, it's a text field right now, whether or not it, it's interesting that done is set to true. So this is backwards. It should say false. I'll fix that. But status is the text status of the job, and then done is a Boolean that will tell you whether it's done or not, and clearly that's not working. It's a little complicated to tell if a job is done, so I had to create that field myself. And then logs are the cloud logs from that job. So if we look at this, and this is when you do a get on the V object, the same thing will show up. Oops. What am I doing? I need the, it's been a long day. The ID of the video object. So if we get that, we'll see the same thing. It's already completed. So let's go over to the jobs and we can take a look. So here's our job. You can see that ID in there, and it was run by the service account. If you go to configuration, you'll be able to see under variables and secrets the owner, like who ran it, so who was logged in. This will be you, or Joe Schmo at gmail.com. V_ID is the video ID, and then the logs of the job, and this is the cool thing that actually took me probably the most time to add. So you'll see here the logs for the output. Those are put into the output from your get. So you'll see there's a logs array, and that contains any of the output from the job. And just to show you how simple that is, this is the job. It's a one-line bash script that just does an echo, and I'll be filling these jobs in. But that's all it takes to make a job. And then any output from that, any standard output that goes into cloud logs, also gets absorbed into the API. And so that's that. And jobs is a map with unique IDs of each job ID, and it has that information that gets filled in. You can see that now that this is done, it says completed, succeeded, and this is obviously flipped. This needs to be set to true rather than false. I think I had it for set to in progress, and I changed it to done, so you could say well not done. Let's see, what else is there? So where does this stuff get stored? This actually gets stored on the video object. So let's pull up this guy. I love how easy it is to pull this up. There's a jobs folder underneath the object that is invisible to you on the API. This gets pulled in as part of the API. And then there's a cached JSON file, which is the latest job information, really detailed information. You can take a look at that. See, it's a lot of stuff that I really don't want to expose to end users. And if we change the job system, it's going to change too. And the other thing you'll see is this text file, which is I've absorbed the logs, also using the API, and this is what gets put into that logs array. So it's just a text file that I split on new line and then give you those. So what you can do with this when you're showing jobs, like a video still processing, kind of like we did before, you upload and then it takes a while to process. You'll just look for any jobs that are not finished, and then we'll have like a better name for whatever the job is. Instead of fancy video description or transcription, it'd be something else. And then you can just display the last line of the logs, so to show the progress, like in progress. And if it's done, just display the status, or just display the status and you'll see that update. But I think it'd be cool as we're running jobs to see what's happening in the background. And man, it took a lot of work to get to this point, but I guess that's it. That's all there is. Just to recap, when you post, there's a job parameter. And did that get put here? Yeah. So you specify job. You can have more than one job if they're separated by commas. I've only written one job right now, so that's not going to do anything. And then when you you'll see a map. That has the job ID as a unique ID, and then whether or not it's done. If it's not done, then on the back end it will automatically pull in the latest job information and put it into this structure for you. So that's all you have to do is call get, and it creates that. Oh, there's one small thing. So if I'll just do it right here. So let's say we want to get information on this guy. That pulls in the info, right? You can also now say, it sounds like Corpus Keeper, right? You can say refresh equals true, and you'll notice this took a little bit longer, and that's because it's going out and refreshing any information. Right now it's just jobs, like the job information and the cloud logs, and it pulls that in. It doesn't take that long, but you can see when it's cached and we don't need to grab it, then it's really fast. So that really just use it without refresh unless you're testing. And I think that's it. So I'll fix the done flag and this will be deployed and ready for Monday. And then hopefully I'll start working on some more job stuff tomorrow.